Daniel, PhD, EDS. I'm the self-care evangelist here on social media. I'm a high school educator, English language arts, and I want to come talk to you all about a book that I am putting out, a journal that I am putting out, that I am publishing on Amazon. And this is for English educators. If you are an English educator, I welcome you today. We're going to have some fun and interaction going on here. And hi Sierra, thank you for joining. So yeah, this is a 30-day empowering English educators journal that I just recently wrote. I've been working on quite a few writing projects this year. And English educators need love, compassion, pampering. Not they, because I'm one. We just need understanding, awareness of what it is that we are dealing with in the classrooms. And so, oftentimes like teachers, we get overwhelmed we're teaching over 100 students. And we want to get to know our students. It's still early in the school year for many of us. Some of us just started Monday of this week. I have friends in Detroit, Michigan, and other parts of the world who just started this week. And so, we are very aware that it's important for us to get to know who our students are. So I start that by trying my best to learn their names, and I take action steps to help me to learn the name and the faces. But it's a process. It's week 3. I'm getting a lot better, but I'm still needing a little more, of those actions that I do. Here's what I do. I'll just give you this tip. Here's what I do. I'll say it how I do it, because I don't want to sound like I'm preaching to you and telling you what to do. I like to have students do work that I can then look at their work and learn their voices. So they do writing, they do actions, right? Activities, actions. We, on the English department, we have them write discussions, and then they respond to their peers. And this helps me to learn their voice, how they sound when they speak on paper. And then, so I engage with that. And then I have students complete other types of assignments, whether they be projects, pencil and paper stuff. And it just helps me to get to know them. Thank you, Hidalgo and Amber Carletti, Gloria Guzman, and Missy Antoinette Schaffenbein. Thank you all for joining. I'm Lynn Daniel. I'm an English language literacy educator. I teach 12th grade English, and I'm going to talk a little bit about a book that I recently wrote, a journal really. Not just, back that up. It's a journal for English educators, and I'm going to talk about that, but right now I'm talking about the ways that I go about to learn my students early on in the school year, because English teachers, we have so much reading and grading to do that is a process. It takes a while. It's not like you can just right, wrong. You use a rubric and you read, and then you measure according to the rubric. And so it's a process. But what I do to get to know my students early on in the year, this is week 3 for us, is I engage with their work so I can learn their voice on their writing, how they sound when they write, how they think, if they are addressing the entire prompt or not. And so then I just use those things to help me to get to know the person. Another thing I do is I like to, if I have paper documents that I need to give to them or pass back paper documented work, Then I pass it out to them so that I can start matching the name to the faces. And today, like they were working out of their workbook that I keep stored on the shelves, and they have their names labeled on the workbooks. And so my challenge to myself is to get 90 to 100% accuracy on giving those books back. And today I think I did like 95%. There were some students who are like, okay, who is this student, right? And this is week 3 for me. So I mean, like that's 10 school days plus what's rolling out this week. And then we had two days in that first week. So it's like 12 days of school. So I think I'm doing all right. But anyway, okay. Let's move on to the journal that I wrote. So I wrote Empowering English Educators book journal. And it's a 30-day journal. It's a reflective journal to help English educators to like dig deep, like go deep. I mean, I have some deep exercises in here to question and analyze and break apart their practice to take them to self-discovery. Like, what's holding you back? What could you do if you had no limits? Like, what could you accomplish in the advocacy realm? Who would you advocate for and why? What could you accomplish with activism? Who would you activate, And so it's 30 days. It's a 30-day journal. It has a prompt, a writing prompt, and then it has an action step, something that you will do. And you write to both. And then also I included on each day, so there are 30 days in this journal. And for each day I included a poem that kind of like inspires you to your magic or your place, your strength, your power, that part of you as an English educator that is unique to you, that is inspirational, that is boundless and timeless. And so, yeah, I feel real good about this. So this is the rough draft. This is the rough draft. This is like the draft. And so it has, like I said, here would be the poem, if you can see that. So on one page, you'll have a poem that from yours truly. And then you'll have a prompt. So there's the prompt. And then here's the action step. So this is the prompt up here. You write to it on the lines. And then the action step has no lines. So you can write, you could draw, whatever, right? You could do a bullet list. You could sketch an image or a logo or a graphic, some kind of graphic that responds and shows your action. And this is a 30-day prompt. Hi, John Murphy and Canel Davis and Goddess J and Robin Galdamez. Thank you all for joining. Yeah, I'm Lynn Daniel, Dr. Lynn Daniel, PhD, EDS. I am an English educator. I teach 12th grade English. And today I'm just talking a little bit about a 30-day educator's reflective journal that I wrote. And I'm waiting on it to be approved so that I can make it available to English educators. But, I feel pretty good. I feel very good about it because I know that teachers, like, we have so much on our agenda for the day to where oftentimes we don't get everything accomplished because of time constraints and because we just have a lot to do. And then we have been encouraged to set boundaries so that when we go home, we are resting and recuperating and not working, which I really agree with. I really believe that it's important for educators to like set a firm boundary around your working hours. Now, the thing about it, here's the trick, or for lack of a better word, we're constantly, I'm going to speak for myself, I'm constantly thinking about what I can do to improve my practice. What can I do to improve students' understandings and takeaways from lessons? I mean, that part seems to always be active and going on in my thinking, right? But then when it comes to like the physical lift of the work, for teachers, you definitely need parameters around that. And we are being encouraged to set boundaries around our work day, and just be very mindful to use our time at home to recuperate and to refresh and to spend time with our families, to restore our souls, and, just to like reflect or just live and be a human being. So that's what I do. I'm very mindful now to live and be a human being on my time. But then on the clock, then I'm mindful of getting things done. Now, what I've run into this year, and I wonder if other English teachers, I need to talk to my colleagues in my department. Like, we had a meeting yesterday, and we weren't able to talk on these types of topics. We were strictly focused on instructional things. And so I need to ask them, like, what do you do when students submit work with just their first name? Not a first name and a last name, not a first name, a last name, and a period, so you can really know whose work it is. What do you do? Now, I did talk to people outside of my department, and they said, you know what they said? They said, trash it. Trash it. Like, if the student isn't owning their work and there's no way you can figure out who the work belongs to, then why struggle over that? You've already set your expectations. You've already told students to put your name on the work, your full name on the work, and then put a class period. Put the date. And some students didn't do that. I gave students, we used Quizizz. Do you all know about Quizizz? Quizizz is a gamified learning website platform where you quiz your students over content, various contents. You can either make these yourself or you can borrow from colleagues who have already made quizzes on the topic that you are needing to assess. And so I had the majority of my students just put their first name. And some of the first names, I teach multiple people with that name. So how do I know whose grade is which? And then I had a few students be clever and put nicknames. I have no way of figuring out who you are. And you were instructed to put your name, your first and last name. So that's why, these are things that, and I've been teaching many years, you all. I've been teaching many, 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 many years. And a part of me has not come to the point where I can just trash it. But for real, the reality is you need to come to the place where you can just trash the work that is not being owned or claimed. I need to get over it and just accept the fact that the student didn't want to own their work. They, for whatever reason, they put a nickname to hide behind a nickname. How am going to know whose grade that is. But oh me, poor me. Poor me. I'm from a different generation, so, you know, that generation is we had that perseverance. We had that climb that mountain. You can get up there, you know. So anyway, that was a roadblock that I was facing. Students not putting their names on their assessment, putting nicknames, putting only the first name when many of them have the same first name. Psst. All right, so these are the things that English teachers deal with. And so the journal that I made is for English educators to take a deep dive into our psyche, our attitudes, our beliefs, our feelings and emotions, and even our abilities and our capabilities when it comes to advocacy, activism in English education. And, you know, because as an advocate in English education, we are advocating for our students to do a great job and to learn. We're advocating for our school districts to provide the best curriculum for our students. We're advocating for our campuses to provide the best opportunities for us, like the best resources and the best opportunities for us to share knowledge, to allow our students to share what they've learned, to express their thoughts about what they have learned, to display their learnings on work. So, like, advocacy has so many levels, you know? Just like activism. So activism, English educators who are activists, many of them take on leadership roles, whether they are department chairs, grade level chairs, whether they are working with district curriculum committees or various leadership roles. And so I've had my share of those opportunities over the course of my many, many years of teaching in 2 states. And so this book is, I'm feeling so good about this book. This is the rough draft. It's called Empowering English Educators, a 30-day reflective journey, because it is a journey. It's a journal that takes you on a journey. And so the book will be available on Amazon for $6.99. And I encourage all of you who are English educators to grab one when it becomes available. I'll come back on and let you know when it's available. And then if you have an English educator in your life, I encourage you to get them a book. If you have many English educators in your life, I encourage you to get 5 books, 10 books, enough books to where you're helping those English educators to form a community of practice, which means they will get together at some point in time of their day or their week or their month to talk about the actions in here, to go over the prompts in the book, to talk about what it is that they are experiencing in their role as an English educator, you know? And so that's my live today. That's my live. Thank you so much, Miss Antoinette, Penelope, Amber. Let's see who else. Robin, John, Connell, Desk Boy, Lilia, Lisa, Amira, Deborah, Akayle, Mosley, Rosemary, Amir, Tim, Rosa, Manmi. Thank you all for joining. All right, so when the book is available, I will post it here so you can get one for the English educator in your life and then maybe get multiples to help them form a community of practice where they can get together, share, and not just complain and whine, but share. And I will come back and teach you what a community of practice looks like and how it unfolds and how it survives and lives. Okay? All right. Thank you all. Be blessed. Bye.